Hello, what's going on? How we doing? I'm just gonna do a channel update this week. I don't have any big planned videos or anything. As has been the case for a while now, we don't have any big Mass Effect news to talk about. Even knock on wood, the Xbox and other gaming side of things seems like it's calmed down a little bit. The last video I did was actually an update on my office, as you can see if you saw the last video. It's a bit more organized. I've still got some paint to fix up and some patches to do, and obviously some organization to do. Still, as of last week, I'm trying to figure out my lighting and stuff like that. I actually really like this lighting. I could dial it in a bit, but this is natural day lighting, and I don't get this all the time. This is only obviously during the daytime. Um, so yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't have the glare off my balding head because I don't have the light on right now. But I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get to honestly recreate this kind of lighting, but have it all the time. So we'll see if I can figure that out. Maybe I can just put a big artificial sun right there. So let's see. So I'm finishing up the office. I have a few things to add, a few things to finish up. Um, on the Mass Effect side, we, like I said, haven't gotten a bunch of info there. I have a few ideas for topics and, kind of speculative topics and things like that that we can hit up sooner than later. But for now, while things are kind of a mess and while I'm busy, we'll see. These couple weeks are busy for me because it's before the school year starts. My wife's a teacher. My child is school age. So these last few weeks of summer tend to be a bit of a scramble as we try to soak up the sun here these last few weeks and go on from there. So on the other side of things, I do have a couple of podcasts. I actually do have a script in the works for a Mass Effect Hypecast podcast, a new episode. So be on the lookout for that. I have my 400th episode of the Bonfire, which used to be called the Echo Cast. It was the Division podcast, the Ubisoft game, for a few years, and since then I switched it over and have kind of done more general gaming discussions, but with a focus on Mass Effect and the things I care about, obviously. My plan for that right now is to do a normal episode for the 400th, but in the week before, so I think it's the first week of August, to release three or four or maybe more kind of mini-sodes or really just non-standard podcast on that feed and on my YouTube and stuff like that, where I have a handful of guests, people you may have heard of, people you may not, or people who are more specialized, people from my Mass Effect background and the Division background, and so on and so forth. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try to make that work. I think that would be cool to have some discussions about the games I care about, that they care about. All of us are content creators in some capacity, so talking about how we got started into that, and maybe kind of a general discussion with everyone with these different backgrounds about where we think things are going and how the games industry is going, what our plans are moving forward. Some of the folks are a bit older than me, some are a bit younger. I think it's an interesting topic to talk about. Like, for me, I'm almost 40, not old, still pretty young, but when I start thinking about like the next Fallout game, Fallout 5 is in development. What about the one after that? And how old am I going to be when that potentially comes, right? So I think those discussions are kind of fun to have, and we'll go from there. So keep an eye out for those podcasts. They will be here on my YouTube as well as in the Bonfire feed. I'll be juicing that up a bit. Otherwise, I'm finishing up the office. With school starting again, it does mean I have a little more time during the day to do my own thing and to do videos and things like that, like I often do. So you can expect probably more of that content right now. I just fit it in when I can, and we're just busy. That also means that family activities like sports and all that will kick back up, so I'll be different. I'll be busy in a different way doing the adult thing and just always being busy. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of the gist of everything I have. We don't really have any, big game shows or anything coming up. Really, the next things that are coming would be in 7 Day in November, which should feel further away than it does. But here, come August, it's only gonna be 3 months away, right? Uh, that whole situation with that acquisition with EA, we are currently in the biggest Mass Effect info drought we've ever had. And that includes like rumors. Like we don't even have. I mean, I don't really pay super close attention to them anymore, but I'm not aware that even like Jeff Grubb or people who used to be pretty, good for some EA, some BioWare, some Mass Effect rumors to pop up here and there. I'm not aware that he said anything in a long time. I also would suspect that someone like him has kind of lost his kind of journalist status. When he talked about like Unreal Engine and the release date, that's when he was still a GamesBeat journalist, and now he's kind of like a dancing monkey for Giant Bomb, and I suspect he's not quite getting the scoops he used to get. So maybe that's why. But it's been nobody. There's been no one. So I don't know if they just have things locked down there or what. But we haven't gotten anything. No blogs since N7 Day. And then the last blog they did was I think January of 25. The lack of blogs is really strange. Like the fact that they didn't do one for, I assume that their last, the CEO of BioWare, who left, I think in December. We never got any like official notice of that. Nothing. The only thing we've gotten is, and I've seen other people say similar stuff. I think it was Jez Gordon said that he's heard things are going well at BioWare. I have heard the same from people I've interacted with, but nothing I can report on necessarily or prove. So on that front, we're kind of waiting to get more info there. For me, waiting for like more info about the Division 3 and for more info about what in the world is going on with Xbox and all that. That's kind of where we're hanging tight now. So as more of that stuff comes, I'll make more videos. I'll cover it. We'll do our thing. But until then, I have my baunfire plans, so keep an eye out for those. I'm trying to wrap this thing back in to keep my ADHD from taking me too far astray. But keep an eye out for the podcast. That will be in episode 398 this week, 399 next week, and then I think it's that first week of August should be 400. We'll try to do some cool stuff for that. I'll try to do some looking back, maybe some reposting of old podcasts, like when I interviewed the producer or director or whatever, Rawson Thurber of the Division movie, TV show, who knows? That was like 4 or 5 years ago and nothing's happened with it. So, maybe repost my Mark Dara interview, the terrible podcast I did with him. He was very gracious, very nice, very informative, but I didn't know what I was doing, and we'll hope that my skills now are better than they were back then. But lots of cool stuff to look back on, lots of hopefully cool stuff coming, but until that stuff happens, I will wrap this video up. If you want more gaming coverage, Mass Effect coverage, Xbox coverage, and the like, subscribe to the channel. Click on the links in the description of the video for all the other ways you can support, and for my other content links. Hit the like button so more people see the video. If you really want to support what I'm doing, get videos like this one just a bit early, hit the YouTube member. It's only $1 a month or more if you want. It's up to you. That's all I've got for this one. So until next time.